Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the podcast, The Millionaire of the Diamonds. I'm so excited for January 24th. If you don't have your ticket, get your ticket. Marie-Pierre is going to talk about it. Why? Because I love when like-minded people get together. Yesterday, I saw on social media, on Instagram, I was, guilty of scrolling before I go to bed, but I do put a timer so you don't do it forever. So if it's not dogs or cats or abused animals, then I get motivational things. And one of the motivational things was a bunch of women sitting around a table, and over the head of each woman it was written lawyer, dentist, doctor. And in the seat of the doctor, she wasn't at the table. That was funny. Did you get it? She wasn't. Anyways, uh, and the thing was written, "Who are your friends?" And I went, oh, that's so good. That's so good. So coming back to the conference on January 24th, that's why I'm excited, because we opened it up for people to come. And I love being surrounded with like-minded people that want to think stronger, people that want to level up, people that want to change their trajectory. But most importantly, Melanie and Marie-Pierre, people that understand they are responsible. There's nothing harder than dealing with somebody that pronounces the words, well, it's not my fault. I feel like going like my Italian slap. So good morning once again. I see Jacqueline has joined us. Martin is here. Good morning. Good morning. I don't know what Monique is. Maybe I held her up too late last night. I don't know. Uh, Today's episode, you're going to love it. I loved it. I loved it. I'm so into it. It's the powerful reframing of the word no. So between me, there's James. I knew it. There's James. Okay. And I need you really to hear this story this morning, because a lot of times people will quit just before the yes. So we talked about 3 feet from the goal, but this next episode is about the no. Okay. It's going to stay with you. It's impossible that you walk away today indifferently. But before we dive in, let's go over to Marie-Pierre. James says with me, he's with Monique, Kendra, and Carolyn. Yes. Woohoo. Where's Sherry? Go find Sherry, please. Okay. Enough. Go ahead, Marie-Pierre.
Okay, so first thing to do is to share the podcast this morning. So you want to share on every social media platform. You have the text in the comment that you can copy paste it when you share, so people understand why they should listen to the podcast this morning. But if you have someone in mind that you really want them to listen to the podcast this morning, just send it by messenger or text message. That's the best way to make sure they will click on the link and listen to the podcast. Then we have our contest, Les Millionnaires de Diamants. So first, when you go on our Facebook group and you comment or you post or you leave a reaction, you gain point during the month to be in the top 10 contributor. And at the end of the month, the official top 10 will get a voucher to go shop on the boutique Les Millionnaires des Diamants. And our top 10 month to date, so you still have until the end of the month, but month to date, we have number 10, Nancy Saint-Hilaire, number 9, Sammy TV, number 8,
Key,
Nathalie
who's
Brock.
that?
I don't know.
Oh, when I get going, send a private message. Thank you. You're in the top 10. Because
So,
it's nice when we
yeah.
see new names. Yeah.
Number 8, we have Nathalie Brochu. Number 7, Agnès Joseph Local.
Siki,
Number 6,
who's that?
she was in the top 10 last month too.
Send her a message. Send her a message.
Number 6, we have Melanie Kokolas. Number 5, we have CKA Motivation. Number
Okay,
4,
send a message, Marie-Pierre.
it was in the top 10 last month too. Number 4, Lise Boucher. But I know it's not something that you hear a lot, so it looks like, oh, it's new. No. Number 3, we have Kendra Fingerful. Number 2, Louis Gauthier. And number 1, Martinel. So congratulations to our top 10 month today. Again, you still have until the end of the month to be in the official top 10. And we have a draw at the end of each month. To be in the draw, there's 2 ways with the boutique. So when you go and you place your order, or when you receive your order, you always take a picture and you post on social media and you tag Marie Merino and Millionnaires de Diamants to be in the draw. And the second way is with the books Millionnaires de Diamants. So you just receive one of the book, you take your picture. You're doing what you're reading one of the book, you take a picture. You're doing one of the workbook, you take a picture. You're doing one of the quiz book, you take a picture. You're using your agenda, you take a picture. You can take a new picture every day and post on social media and always tag Marie Merino and Millionnaires de Diamants to be in the draw at the end of the month. And then we have our conference that is coming up on January 24th. We still have place because it's a virtual conference. Cheese. Eleni, cheese. So, yes, if you don't already have your ticket for the virtual conference, make sure that you click on the link to join us. And even if you cannot be with us live, you can watch it in replay. So you're going to receive the link to watch it in replay. So get your ticket to get it. And of course, if you are close to Anjou and you want to be with us in the studio when we're doing the conference, just write me a message when you get your ticket and I will add you to the group of people that will be with us in the studio. And of course, if you don't already have your agenda, go and get your agenda. We're still at the beginning of the year. It's still time to have the best agenda to reflect it, to track it. And if you already have
Did
it,
we
make sure that you take a picture and that you film yourself to be qualified for the mug. Yes?
poster with everybody that sent us their agenda picture?
Yes, when I have the picture, I will do a post. So make sure that you take your picture with your agenda and send it to me. And same thing with your video. So we can use your beautiful face to be a publicity for us. And you're going to qualify for the.
We found Sherry. She's at the condo.
Yes, that's true. So you have your mug Les Millionnaires des Diamants. Voilà.
Are you keeping focus? Yeah, with
Yeah,
me.
yeah. This morning, perfect.
Can you imagine me in class, Melanie Miller?
Oh,
If I was sitting, Melanie, I'd make you laugh from beginning to end of class. But I was nice. I was a good kid. But I didn't really listen. Okay, c'est bon. We found Cherry. Okay. Are you finished?
oui.
Okay, let's go. Okay, so before we go into today's chapter, I want to tell you something very important. Most people are not afraid of failure. I want you to, if you're leaning in and you're taking down notes, I am not afraid of failure. I am afraid of the word no, because I'm taking it personally. So I said, okay, what will I bring to the podcast? This is what I decided to do. And it's fun because Melanie's going to hear it for the first time this morning. Okay. So no feels personal, right? No feels final. No feels like boom, they just slammed the door in my face. But I was raised very differently. So, what did my mother teach me? So, I wanted to share with you what my mom taught me, what my dad taught me, and what my Tupperware business taught me. So, I'm pretty well trained in no. And I think who beats them all, who has no problem with no, is my husband, Mohammed. But that's another story. I might get to it. I'll look at the time. Okay. So, my mother taught me something that shaped my entire life. She used to say to me, Maria, you always try first by the front door, right? And if you get a no, never get offended, never get discouraged. Don't walk away. Go in the back door and try a different approach. And if they still say no, there's always an opening on the roof. That's what I learned from my mom. There is always a way. There's always a way. And what she really was telling me is no is never definite for life. Okay. So I grew up understanding that no wasn't a rejection, it was information. It simply meant try another way, or it simply meant it's not a good timing. But never did I take a no for no, as many people take the word no. Now, the second lesson came from my dad, and this one stayed with me deeply. One day, my son, okay, so first let me give you a bit of context. My mom passed away in January 12th, 1995. We were right in the middle of renovating our home. We were living in a condo. When my mom passed away, I was pregnant with Yasmin, so she never saw the new home, never met Yasmin. And I had my son, Hamid, who's 4, my daughter, Nadia, who's 2. And we left the condo because it was a monthly rental. And we went, as of February 1995, to live with my dad because he was now alone. And it was an empty nest, right? So when we went there, this is the importance of family. Something happened at a certain moment because I lived in his house until September 1995. No, actually, Yasmin was born. So October 1995. I think I just didn't want to leave. Anyways, what happened was my son Hamid had asked me something, and I went very aggressively or very hardcore. I said it's no for that. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, and my father is watching. He takes me on the side and he says, I got to tell you something, whispering in my ear. Maria, as a parent, we don't say no to scare our children. We say no gracefully. Then he said something that changed how I saw leadership forever. A graceful no teaches courage. It teaches a child that no is not the end, and it's an invitation to think differently and come back stronger. Oh my God, guys, I don't know if you're leaning in. And I said, oh, this was a game changer, paradigm shift in my life. Yeah. So if you teach your children that no is final and we create fear when they're asking something, then what happens is we're raising fearful adults. And I think a lot of people will be able to relate with this. So instead, if you teach them that no can be revisited intelligently with respect, and now you're going to raise persistent leaders. So today's lesson for me is very clear. And when I look at my three children who are now 30, 32, and 34, I can tell you one thing, my friends. They are relentless. They are not afraid of the no. And I just found myself last night paying for a second cruise for Yasmin and Hamid. And I don't know how the heck they managed that. That's what you raise, okay? The student will always surpass the master. So they think they adjust, they come back. They think they adjust, they come back. And I got to tell you, Mohammed is living proof of this. My husband, Mohammed, is the greatest negotiator I have ever met in my life. He really takes it nice and easy. And then when he gets informed of everything about you, he goes in with the question, and you're gonna be so polite and politely decline, and he's gonna come back in slow-mo. So I always say, Mohammed, you always get your way because you kill them. You kill them in the process. Oh, it's too funny. Okay. And the last one I wanted to share with you was having joined Tupperware. This came from my training in Tupperware, where friend finding door to door was the main way of communicating and finding new customers, new recruits, etc. And the lesson was simple. The lesson was, remember, when you're friend finding and knocking on those doors, it's going to take 10 doors that open and allow you to give them your spiel, that you will get finally your first yes. So as I did door to door at 18, 10, she said no, 9, she said no. But the thing was, I was getting more excited. So I always ended up getting that average 1 out of 10. But I still question myself today. Is it because the excitement was building up? Okay. Or was it really because it was 1 out of 10? Either way, I can tell you my relationship with the no is a very healthy one. I have no issue with the no. I never take it personally. No doesn't mean no. What it's saying to you is not this way, not this moment, not this version, not yet. But to better understand how all of this was awakened in me was with this beautiful story, always in chapter 1. And I'm going to let my friend Melanie Miller share it with you.
Thank you very much, Maria. So, reading, I have to confess, I'm struggling a little bit reading this book. The language of it is very old, and it's taking me a while to get into it. But what I love about the book is you read something, and then you can't stop thinking about what is he actually trying to tell you, and that is going to be revealed over the next couple of days about this no. So, have you ever noticed how children can be extremely persistent if they want something? If they want things and they really want them, they can be master negotiators from whom we could all learn a thing or two. I know that my own children, when they wanted something, would flit and float between one parent and the other, trying to break us down into submission, never accepting the no, as Maria was telling us. And one of us would eventually, not before talking to the other parent, give in if we felt that it was something we could give ground on. Where children have the upper hand, of course, is when parents are not on the same page, the child will quickly become a master manipulator. So I guess what this taught me, and the same as Maria was talking about, When I was young, I remember doing the same thing, like asking my dad for something, then checking with my mom, and then asking my dad. And I guess at the back of it all, whenever you received a no that didn't seem final, you don't give up, you just keep going. In this book, Hill tells the story of Mr. Darby, the guy who stopped 3 feet short of the gold in the mine. And Mr. Darby was particularly impressed by a young child that came to the barn of his uncle's place while his uncle was milling. Now, Uncle Darby was not a particularly gentle or kind man, and he was quick to go get to temper. So when he saw the child come into the barn while he was working, he angrily asked her what she was doing. She told him that her mama had sent her to collect some money, 50 cents, in fact. Presumably he owed that to her. And the uncle was in no mind to give the girl the money, so he told her to get out, leave, and she would not be getting the money. And she very gracefully said, "Thank you, yes, sir," and sat down on a stone by the door of the barn, and just waited. And the uncle was so involved in what he was doing that he got back on with his work. And it was only after a while that he realized the child was still sitting there. So now he's getting pretty angry and told the girl, "I told you you had to leave." And she said, "No, my mom said I had to come and get this 50 cents. And when she said, when he told her that she had to go again, she says, "Okay, yes, I'll go," and sat down again. And the guy by this time had turned back to his work, and she's sitting patiently, and he gets on with his work, and then he catches a glimpse of her out of the corner of his eye again, and this time he's like raving mad because I told her to get out. Who does she think she is, waiting here for me to react? So he gets hold of like I'm guessing it was some sort of paddle, and picks it up. "I'm gonna beat you. I told you that you couldn't have the money." So he advances on the kid. And she's like 5 years old. And she stands up, and as he approaches, and she looks him square in the eye, and she shouts at the top of her voice, "No, my mom says I have to go home with 50 cents. So the guy is like, whoa, stops just in front of her, silent, looks at her, reaches in his pocket, gets the 50 cents out, gives it to her. So the kid's like probably just as surprised. And she backs out carefully, runs back to her mum. And Darby said the amazing thing was that the uncle, he just stopped still for about 10 minutes trying to process in his mind what had happened. And eventually he went back to his work, got on as if nothing had happened. Now, the extraordinary thing about the story is that this was a little black child who had come to her master to get 50 cents and could easily have ended up just a messy puddle on the floor with a master who beat her. What is this phenomenon? And if you recognize it, what a great tool it is to use in any situation that requires a degree of persuasion and manipulation for yourself. And tomorrow we're going to develop that idea a little more and maybe explain it a little more. But for now, I'm going to leave you in the hands of Marie-Pierre, who I think probably has a quiz for us.
Absolutely. Thank you, Melanie. So it's time for the quiz because we realized with this story that Melanie just told us and with the story that Maria told us this morning, we realized that when we are children, we are born natural negotiator and we ask and we ask and we wait and we adapt and then we go again and again and again. But sometimes life happens and it teaches us that you don't insist. Oh, no, no, you will look pushy. Oh, no means no. You have to stop. If they say no, just move on. And realize that no doesn't necessarily means no. So very often the no means not now or not like this or not yet, not from this version of you. So the quiz will help you to see what is your natural response to that resistance or when you have a no. So do you retreat? Do you collapse emotionally? Do you push? Or do you remain calm and present? So let's start the quiz. So for each question, you can answer A, B, C, or D. So let's start with question number one. Always answer honestly because it's going to be something good for you to just realize where you are right now and how you can adapt. So number one, so when you have a client or a prospect that doesn't respond after an initial contact, what do you usually do? So A, you assume that they are not interested. B, you feel rejected and stop following up. C, you follow up once, then quit. Or D, you stay calmly consistent without pressure. Question number two. When a request is declined at work, what do you think? A, oh, I shouldn't ask. B, I must not be good enough. C, they don't get it. Or D, this is information and not a verdict. Question number three. When you hear not now, how do you interpret that? A, as a permanent no. B, as a polite rejection. C, a challenge to overcome immediately. Or D, a pause that requires patience. Question number four. When it's time to do a follow up and it feels uncomfortable, what do you usually do? A, you avoid it. B, you feel anxious and delayed. C, you force yourself awkwardly. Or D, you frame it as part of the process. And question number five, when something really mattered deeply to you, how do you act? So A, you quietly hope that it works out. B, you fear being disappointed. C, you push intensely. Or D, you stay steady over time. So did you get mostly A's, mostly B's, mostly C's, or mostly D's? So if you have a mostly A, you step away too quickly. So you've learned to disengage early to avoid discomfort. So you confuse that peace with withdrawal. So this pattern will often come from wanting to avoid awkwardness, wanting quick emotional relief, or interpreting resistance as a final answer. So you want to practice staying present one moment longer that feels comfortable. Yes, it's gonna be a little awkward at the beginning, but you're gonna feel good after a few times. And now, if you have it mostly B, you personalize resistance. So no feels like a reflection of your words, so you internalize hesitation as rejection. So often it comes from past discouragement, fear of being judged, or that emotional attachment to outcomes. So you want to learn to separate who you are from what happened. So no is no to what you ask and not no to you. Now, if you have it mostly C, you push instead of persist. So you didn't lose negotiation, but you replaced it with force. So you equate the persistence with pressure. So often it comes from that fear of losing control or that desire to prove yourself. So you want to replace that intensity with steadiness. And now, if you have it mostly D, you kept that natural negotiator like a child. So you understand that resistance is information, not rejection. So you stay present without collapsing or forcing. So it will show that you have that emotional maturity, that inner security, and that you work on your long-term leadership capacity. So you want to trust those skills and use it intentionally. So 5 ways to make sure that you reclaim your negotiator in you. Number one, remove emotion from interpretation. So ask what information is here instead of what does it say about me. So it's the information that will help you get the yes. Number two, stay present one step longer. Like Maria said, like Mohammed, Stay there. Presence alone often change the outcome. Do not disappear at the first resistance. Stay present. Number three, replace pushing with patience. So pressure creates resistance. So calm, certainty will create that openness. Number four, you want to treat resistance as data. So resistance shows where alignment, clarity, or timing needs to be refined. So treat it as a data, not as a drama. And number five, remember that quitting early will feel safe, but it will cost you growth. So staying present will build your capacity, your confidence, and your leadership. So no, it's not a stop sign. It's just a checkpoint to realize what you need to correct it and to make it the next step. So on that, I wish you a beautiful day and we'll continue on that subject tomorrow morning. So bye everyone.